بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه مباركا عليه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى جل جلاله وعم نواله، والصلاة والسلام على السيد الحبيب المصطفى وعلى آله وأصحابه نجوم الهدى قادة التقاء. أما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وسارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: لا تحقرن من المعروف شيئا ولو أن تلقى أخاك بوجه طلق. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لسيدنا عبد الله بن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنه وهو رديف رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في السفر، قال صلى الله عليه وسلم: يا غلام إني أعلمك كلمات احفظ الله يحفظ، احفظ الله تجده تجاهك، وإذا سألت فاسأل الله، وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله، واعلم أن الأمة لو اجتمعوا على أن ينفعوك بشيء لم ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك، وإن الأمة لو اجتمعوا على أن يضروك بشيء لم يضروك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله عليك، رفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف، أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وسلم. Respected elders and brothers, honorable brothers and sisters at home, Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought us another year, at least in the Gregorian calendar, and He has given us an opportunity, and I keep saying this, there are times in the year Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us an opportunity to self-reflect, and none of us are innocent of crimes, none of us are guilt-free. We all have our own, like they say, skeletons in the cupboard. We all have our own secrets, our own flaws, our own defects, our own issues that we are struggling with, we are dealing with. We all have our own challenges within the home, at work, in our private life, in our public life, in all different aspects and circles of life. We all have our own problems. But we see, and this is a very good practice, that when the new year starts, even the non-Muslims come together and they make resolutions. And their resolutions are usually based on religion or based on morals and ethics they've been given by a religion. But alhamdulillah, we have been given guidelines, we have been given standards, we have been given something to live our life with. We have been given the Quran, the Sunnah. And we have been given a judgment that you judge yourself based on the barometer Allah has set with the Quran and with the Hadith. This teaches us what morality is, this teaches us what ethics is, this teaches us what good is, what bad is, what right is, what wrong is. And we can judge our own lives, nobody else's life. Because I might judge you based on the actions I see you doing without knowing that you spend the nights crying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are not to judge others. But we can judge ourselves and say, look, I did this good, I did this bad, I'm following this, I'm not following this. So when the new year comes, it's a good time for us to come together and to start thinking about ourselves. To take this moment to self-reflect. That what did I do last year, what can I do better this year? If I have seen there was a bad habit in me last year, how can I better it this year? Now the biggest mistake we can make is we take all of our bad habits and say, I'm going to get rid of all of them. Because that doesn't happen, that's impossible, we can't do that. Now in the khutbah I recited a hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was on a conveyance, a mule or a donkey. And behind him was Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas, his cousin. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas was very special. He used to be the khadim. He used to be the helper of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made beautiful du'as for him. Allahumma faqihhu fi d-din wa 'allimhu at-ta'wil. Allah, make him a person who understands the religion and give him an understanding of the Quran. So Sayyidina Abdullah bin Abbas, even till today, he is the one Sahabi, when it comes to tafsir, we all go to the tafsir of Sayyidina Abdullah bin Abbas. Because it was a dua Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And it's a lesson for our parents, that let's put our children in the khidmah, in the help, in the service of the pious elders, the ulama, etc. So that the children can benefit, they'll pick up habits from them and they get the du'as of the elders. The ulama, the sulaha, the pious people will give them du'as. And obviously they'll pick up good habits. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was with Sayyidina Abdullah bin Abbas, who took this moment to ask Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, to benefit from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Ya Ghulam, O my son. Because he was much younger than him, O my son. Inni u'allimuka kalimat. I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to teach you a few things. Inni u'allimuka kalimat. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is starting to make the mind and shape the mind of this youngster. Inni u'allimuka kalimat. Sayyidina Abdullah bin Abbas he wasn't even through his prime years when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam passed away. He was maybe just in his teenage years, just below 15 he must have been. So he was very, very young. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Inni u'allimuka kalimat. Let me teach you something. Ihfazillah yahfaz. Now this whole hadith, this whole khutbah, this whole lesson Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave to Sayyidina Abdullah bin Abbas, it's so comprehensive, I can recite it to you in Arabic in less than a minute. But the message within it will take hours to explain. And this is what our resolution should be for this year. This khutbah. Ihfazillah yahfaz. Look after Allah, Allah will look after you. Look after Allah, Allah will look after you. Take care of Allah's rights, Allah will take care of your rights. In a beautiful hadith, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when a person praises 5 times salah, he makes a covenant with Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, a pact, a treaty, a contract. Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala will protect him. When this servant stops praying 5 times a day, he rips up the treaty with Allah and he's left to his own devices. Sort yourself out now. Look after Allah, Allah will look after you. You know, people asked a question of Mufti Muhammad Shafi Uthmani, rahmatullahi alayhi, the father of Mufti Muhammad Taqi Uthmani in Pakistan. And he said that in the Quran, Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala says that Allah will help the Muslimin. Yeah, we all believe Allah will help the Muslimin. This is a promise of Allah. Allah will help the Muslims. But he said, why are so many people being killed today? Why are Muslims, even we can say today as well, why are Muslims the mazloom, the oppressed, the victims? Where is the help of Allah? And Mufti Muhammad Shafi replies to him and says, listen, in the Quran Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala promises His help with a condition. إِن يَنْصُرُكُمُ اللَّهَ إِن تَنْصُرُوا اللَّهَ يَنْصُرُكُمْ. If you look after the rights of Allah, if you help Allah, Allah will help you. He said it's easy for us to ask for Allah's help. But what are we doing? Do you think, does Allah need help? Does Allah need help? Of course Allah doesn't need help. What does it mean by if you help Allah? It means if you help the deen of Allah, if you help fulfill the rights of Allah, if you work towards establishing the rulings of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, the life Allah wants you to live, then Allah will help you. He said, so he asked the question and he said, are you fulfilling part 1? Are you helping Allah's deen? When you help Allah's deen, then Allah will help you. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is teaching Abdullah bin Abbas, look after the rights of Allah, Allah will look after you. When we have somebody in the dunya who helps us, right? I was in a time of need and I needed 3,000 or 4,000 pounds. Somebody came and to the side, he gave it to me, he said, this is qarz, a loan. When you have the time, pay me back later. Even though it was only a loan, it wasn't a hadiyah or a gift. It wasn't a tuhfa, it was a loan. But because it fixed my problems in that time, for the rest of my life, I'm indebted to him. When there's a wedding at my house, I'll make sure I invite him because I know this person has done good for me. Even though the good wasn't a complete 100% good, it was a loan, which is alhamdulillah a very, very noble deed. But better than that would have been a present. It wasn't a present, it was a loan. But even though it was a loan, I feel indebted to him. I feel like I owe him something back. When I pay back the loan, I'll give him something extra. As a gesture of goodwill, to say thank you. This is with the dunya. What has Allah not done for us that we owe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We owe Him and we are indebted to Him more than we can ever be indebted to any human being. And Allah reciprocates the goodness. When we do good, Allah does good for us. Actually, Allah is even better than that. When we do bad, Allah does good for us. When we sit to eat, and we don't read Bismillah before we start, we don't read Alhamdulillah, the dua after we finish, does Allah make sure that food goes through indigestion? Or do we eat to our full? We still eat to our full, don't we? So we are not doing good, but Allah does good for us. Allah gave us the capacity to earn a certain amount of money. So I could go out and buy things and go places, and I'll use the same money Allah has given me in the disobedience of Allah. Look after what Allah has given you, Allah will look after you. It's a promise of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ihfazillah yahfazuk. The second lesson. Ihfazillah tajidhu tujahak. You look after the rights of Allah, you will find Allah in front of you. Everywhere you go, Allah will be with you. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he was faced. Fir'aun in front of him. The sea behind him. Where does he go? You have your enemy in front of you and you have an ocean behind you. You got nowhere to go. It wasn't the time of helicopters where a helicopter could come and he hangs onto the rope and he flies away. That wasn't the time. The enemy has surrounded him. The ocean is behind him, nowhere to go. Inna ma'iya rabbi sayahdeen. My Rabb is with me. He will guide me. Look at this yaqeen, incredible yaqeen. This conviction in Allah. Allah will look after me. Let the enemy come. Allah will look after me. What can the enemy do? Nabi Sallallahu is teaching Abdullah bin Abbas a lesson. Give yourself to Allah. Allah will look after you. Man kana lillah, kana Allahu ma'ahu. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ لَهُ. If you look after the rights of Allah, Allah will look after you. But today we want to go everywhere else to get our rights. And we don't look at, Allah has rights, let me fulfill His rights. I have responsibilities that I have to fulfill. If I fulfill the responsibilities on my shoulder, Allah will fulfill everything on my side. Ihfazillah yahfazuk. Ihfazillah tajidhu tujahak. وَإِذَا اسْتَعِنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. When you want to help when you want to seek help from somebody or something, seek help only from Allah. Allah. Have this yaqeen. Have this conviction. He's teaching a child. He's building his iman. When you want help, where do you go? You go to Allah. Does that mean you don't visit the doctor? Does that mean you don't visit the lawyer or the mechanic or the plumber or the electrician? No. Does that mean you try doing things yourself and say, I'll pay 2 rakats and it will be fine? No, of course. You pay the money or you go and visit the doctor, etc. But before you do any of that, who can fix your problems? If you go to a doctor, he might fix your problem, right? If you go to a lawyer, he might fix your problem. If you go to the plumber, the electrician, the mechanic, they might fix your problem. And they might cost a lot of money. When you go to Allah, does He cost any money? No. Will He fix your problem? 100%. So it's foolish of insan, especially Muslims who say we believe in Allah, that we are prepared to pay money for 50-50, but we're not prepared to take 100% for free. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is teaching us this yaqeen. Yes, go to the doctor, 100%. But before you visit the doctor, pray 2 rakats. Before you go to the mechanic for your car, pray 2 rakats. And Allah will help you. Allah will save you from the bad and will put only the good for you. Even if you can't see it right now. I'll give you a personal example from yesterday. I don't have a car at the moment, so I'm looking for a car to buy. I found a Toyota Yaris and I thought, you know what, this looks like a good car, I want to buy this car. I arranged a time and a place with the person, we'll go to visit it inshallah, I'll take my father, we'll buy the car. It was all set in stone, I thought. I prayed 2 rakats after Isha. And I made dua to Allah, if this car is good for me, give it to me. If it's not, then so be it. And I really wanted the car. I get home, a couple of hours later, I get a message from the person saying I've sold the car. And I said, you know what can I say? I asked Allah for help and Allah showed me help. At the moment, when it happened, I was like, oh no, I've lost the car. Then I remembered, I prayed 2 rakats. And I trusted Allah with my decision, and Allah took the decision out of my hands. Allah said, this car wasn't for you. And maybe I've been saved. And I definitely have been saved. Maybe there was evil in the car for me, so Allah said, you know what, I'll save you from that. It looked like a good price, a good car. Allah said, no, trust me. I'll sort it out. And we prayed 2 rakats because we trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to deal with our problems. We trust Him to deal with it. Otherwise, what's the point of being a Muslim or a mu'min if we can't have trust in the one we believe in? I have, at my workplace, I think at everybody's workplace, apart from maybe taxi drivers or other people who get paid cash in hand, when we go to work, we work for the whole month. At the end of the month, at the start of the new month, we get paid, correct? So essentially, for 29, 30 days, we're working for free. Do we get money daily for working? Or before the day starts? We don't do it. We work with a trust in our employer. He will pay us at the end of the month. We can trust insan. How can't we trust Allah? We can trust insan to pay us the money. We can't trust Allah to look after us. Nabi Sallallahu is teaching this yaqeen to Sayyidina Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala. Now all of this comes into resolutions. How? Because the next year this year we are now embarking on, we need to give ourselves to Allah. Create changes in our life. Even if it's difficult for us, trust Allah. It will be good for us if it's for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if we can't see the benefits. For example, if I have a shop and I'm selling alcohol, and we know we can't sell alcohol in our shops, but I'm selling alcohol, I know I will lose money, right? In the money I receive every week, I might get less money. But if I have yaqeen in Allah, I will know that I might have less pounds, but the pounds will go further. Because I am looking after the haqq and the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is an example of how this fits into our resolutions. And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says to him, oh, and this is so beautiful. وَعَلَمْ أن الأمة لو اجتمعوا على أن ينفعوك بشيء لم ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك. Oh Abdullah, if all of the ummah, the insan, the mankind, humankind, if they all came together and they all wanted to benefit you, they cannot benefit you except of what Allah has written for you. And if they all wanted to harm you, لم يضروك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله عليك. They cannot harm you except how much Allah wanted to harm you. So whatever people do for you is only because Allah has written it for you. Stop going around blaming human beings. Allah has written for it to happen, that's why it's happened. Good for you or bad for you, it's written. If you are meant to lose money, you will lose money whether you take alcohol out your shop or keep it in your shop. If it's written for you to lose that money, you will lose it. If it's written for you to benefit and your income will get greater, whether you get the job or you don't get the job, your income will be like that. Because Allah has written for you, رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامِ, the pens have been lifted, وَجَفَّتِ السُّحُفِ, and the paper has dried. It's done, it's written. Whatever I'm going to earn today, Allah will give to me. Whatever I was going to earn yesterday, it was written for me. Whatever I will earn tomorrow, Allah knows and it is written for me. I can't change it. My job is to try. And this is a resolution we have to make. That Allah will do His job if I do my job. Allah will fulfill the responsibility Allah has taken upon Himself to look after humankind. But we must fulfill our responsibility. Don't be lazy. Create these changes inside our lives. Non-Muslims can make changes inside their lives, as Muslims can't we? And don't go gung-ho like I said. Go one step at a time. The children in our school, in our primary school, we gave the children a task. And I said, what I want you to do is, I want you to write down something you did last year. A habit you had last year. And I want you to write down not just the habit you will fix this year. So not just what will become better. I want you to write how you will make this better. How will you make yourself a better person? If I want to say my intention this year is, for example, I was praying my salah, but I wasn't really sure. I prayed after time. Sometimes, I missed it out when I was busy. So my salah isn't all 100%. This year my resolution is, I will pray every salah on time. If I can't pray in the masjid, okay. I'll pray at the workplace or at home, but I'll pray it on time and I will not let it go qada. That's a good resolution, right? But that's an easy resolution. What we now need to do is take steps. How will I fulfill this? Easy human steps. I will set an alarm for Fajr and I will try to wake up for Fajr. Really basic steps. I will write a letter to my boss at work to tell me to give me time, especially in winter, for Dhuhr and Asr to pray at the workplace. So it's about, I have made a good resolution. How do I fulfill this resolution? And you know what? Even if I get rid of one bad habit every year, inshallah, if Allah gives us life to about 50, 60, 70, we've changed 10, 15, 20, 30 bad habits. And that bad habit we changed could have taken us to Jahannam, Now the bad habit we've changed will now take us to Jannah, inshallah. So even if it's one a year, it doesn't matter. But make an intention to change. Don't be lazy. Look, our job is to make an intention and to try. Allah will do the rest. What did Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam teach Abdullah bin Abbas? You look after Allah, Allah will look after you. And the hadith I recited in my khutbah, the other one, لا تحقرن من المعروف شيئا. Don't think of any good deed to be too small or too trivial or too futile or not worth anything. Every good deed is worth something, even if it's small. Even if you're giving 50 pence a week to the masjid, alhamdulillah. Even if you're giving 50 pence a month to the masjid, alhamdulillah. Any good thing you do, however small, will stack up for you, because every good deed is multiplied by 10. So we're in the green. We're always going to be in the green, inshallah. وَلَوْ أَن تَلْقَى أَخَاكَ بِوَجْهٍ طَلِقٍ. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, don't think of any deed to be too small, even if it means you meet your brother with a smile. Smiling is charity. By you smiling, you've made him happy. You've made a Muslim happy. What greater deed could there be? You've put a smile on a Muslim's face. What a fantastic. Just because we think it's small doesn't mean it's small in the eyes of Allah. Don't use human judgments for Allah. We don't know what deed, what small thing we do could be so big in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the final message today is, whatever we do this year, even if it's baby steps, start to make an improvement, start to make a resolution. Even if it's one thing in our life, one thing in our life. Let's start to make a resolution. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all the himmah and the courage to become better people, accept all of our good intentions, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our shortcomings except our sitting here. Ameen wa akhiru da'wana. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.